I mean, even if we find that we showed this was the impact of this cycle program, we don't know, or we're not confident that it was exactly the cycle was the mechanism behind this impact.
Maybe parents are sending their girls more to school in Bihar because the job opportunities have gotten better. Right?
Not in response to the cycle.
And not in response to the cycle. It's an accurate estimate of how many more girls are going to school in Bihar in this time period. But
is it the cycle?
But you can't...
Or economic growth,
still some other things. If the mechanism of impact is the cycle, then you should see differential impact based on how far away you live from the school. What the bicycle is doing is it's reducing the time cost of going to school proportional to how far away you live, right? And so if you were living very nearby, it just wasn't such a big deal.
So if the child is, say, 0 to 2 kilometers away, we don't find much of effect.
And which makes perfect sense, right?
Exactly.
Because this is a distance at which the cycle is not really
making a difference,
materially changing your time cost much.
Similarly, like 15 kilometers and further.
If you're really far away, then it probably is just too far.
So when you look at the children between who are living between 5 to 10 kilometers away, that's where we see the maximum increase in enrollment for the girls.
It's not the case that there's no increase for girls who are between 0 and 2 kilometers. It's just that there's a comparable increase even in Jharkhand, right? So this is the larger point about that there is an overall increase in girls' enrollment going on in the country. So when we say there's no increase, it means there's no additional increase, right? But all the additional increase in enrollment is coming for the girls in Bihar who are living 5 to 10 kilometers away from a school relative to girls in Jharkhand who are living 5 to 10 kilometers away from the school, right? And so that's the key point.
We answered first question, which was how many more girls are going to school, but now actually we know why we find these results, why more girls were going to school. And one of the answer is the distance. The distance to school was a very important barrier.
People talk about the generalizability of research, right? When you get a specific estimate in one context, it's not obvious that you're going to get the same estimate of impact in a completely different place. But when you get into the black box of why you get the impact, when you start understanding the mechanisms, those mechanisms are more universal than the specific estimate. And I think that's why it's really important to understand the why, because that's something that's translatable to other contexts. Now, it might well be that in a different place with better roads, that the cheapest way to reduce the distance cost might be to have better buses. So it doesn't have to be the cycle, but you've identified that the distance penalty is a key barrier and that reducing the distance penalty has a significant impact in increasing girls' enrollment. The program was politically popular and something that was done anyway, so in some sense you didn't need the research for the program. But I think what the research does is actually demonstrate that perhaps the leaders in Bihar had very good intuition on a program that was both politically popular and in fact ended up being quite effective. So we've seen this now being replicated in other states, but the research gives us the confidence that maybe this is not just populism, but might in fact be a good idea.